All right, and I think everybody knows me, but I'm Kelly. I'm the dietitian here. I teach kickboxing and impact, and I do one-on-one consults as the dietitian here, and then of course the nutrition presentations, usually 2 a month. So tonight we're going to talk about dining out because, you know, during the holidays it might be a little stressful, and so, you know, home cooking might fall lower on the list at this time of the year. So it's definitely a relevant topic still. Outcomes for this evening, you should be able to name at least 3 healthier fast food tips and list at least 3 healthy sit-down restaurant tips. Has anybody seen this picture before? A little familiar? No? Okay, some of you have, some of you haven't. So this picture, I've been using this in presentations for probably almost a decade now. So this is actually getting old, but it's still relevant. So approximately 20 years ago, it goes over portion sizes then compared to now. So up at the top, a 3-inch bagel, 3-inch diameter bagel was 140 calories. Bagels today are typically 6 inches in diameter for 350 calories. 1 cheeseburger was 333 calories. Now we're looking at 590 calories. Spaghetti and meatballs was 1 cup of spaghetti with sauce and 3 small meatballs for 500 calories. Now it's 2 cups of spaghetti with sauce and 3 large meatballs for 1,025 calories. So some of you are on, you know, 1,200 calories a day or somewhere in that range. So 1,000 calories on one meal is quite a significant amount in one sitting. 6.5 ounces was 85 calories for soda 20 years ago. Now we're looking at 20 ounces for 300 calories. And French fries was 2.4 ounces for 210 calories. Now it's 6.9 ounces for 610 calories. And keep in mind, you know, if you're eating French fries, you're probably not just eating French fries. You're probably having a drink with it and a sandwich or whatever else. Same thing with the bagels. You're probably not just having a plain bagel. You're probably having some type of spread on there or whatever. Another one that's a little bit more updated, 1960 versus 2011. One of the, a typical fast food meal, 7 fluid ounces of of soda was 85 calories. Now we're looking at 8 ounces for 590. No, that came out right. Oh, I'm sorry, 32 ounces. Where is that? Am I reading the wrong?
They switched the burger.
7 ounces
Soda.
for 85 calories.
Oh
yeah.
The soda and the burger are switched?
Like it should be where the soda is where the...
Yeah, the soda's 32. Sorry, the soda's 32, right?
Yeah.
For 310?
Yes.
Right.
This has got to be...
That's the ham. That's the cheeseburger.
That's the cheeseburger. Yeah, so that's...
And then up top is the cheeseburger.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, that's confusing. Sorry, guys. 6 ounces of fries, 500 calories versus 1960 was 2.4 ounces for 210 calories. So, I mean, it's the same food, just the portion sizes have gotten kind of out of control. So, 415 calories for the 1960 meal versus 1,400 for the 2011 meal. So again, if you're on a 1,200 to 1,400 calorie meal plan, that's it for the whole day. There's a new labeling law that supposedly was finalized this year. I know it takes a while for things to roll out. So under the Affordable Care Act, any chain restaurants with 20 or more locations has to have the nutrition facts visible somewhere on their menu. And you know, McDonald's has already rolled that out, so if you go there, visibly when you see the menu, the nutrition facts, or at least the calories, should be listed. The restaurants are also liable. They're supposed to provide additional nutrition information upon request if they don't have it somewhere visible. This was based on research that said that people typically pick lower calorie menu items when the numbers are readily available. This was finalized by the FDA, and this also includes vending machines. All right, why do we care about this stuff? Well, particularly our weight and our health. The average fast food meal has been shown to provide approximately or more than 1,000 calories in one shot. Many meals exceed the daily recommended sodium level, okay, and that's a concern for blood pressure, heart disease. 2 takeaway points: if you don't take anything else away, avoid the supersizing and avoid adding salt to the food that's you've already purchased. Let's start with breakfast. Hopefully you're all eating breakfast or getting in the habit of eating breakfast, or at least eating something in the morning. Breakfast sets the tone for the day. It sets up, you know, the choices that you're going to make later in the day. It keeps your blood sugar stable. It gives you energy in the morning. So what you want to do with breakfast is aim for a balance. So try to purchase something that has a lean protein, a fruit and or a vegetable, and a whole grain. So examples: proteins could be yogurt, milk, cottage cheese, egg beaters, omelets, scrambled eggs and hard-boiled eggs, ham, cheese, and Canadian bacon. A great way to get veggies in the morning, if you like omelets or scrambled eggs, you can toss a little vegetable in there. If you're looking for grains, things like oatmeal, small bran muffins, whole grain cereals, just watch the sugar content on those things. And then bagels and rolls are a little bit better choices than croissants or biscuits. Croissants and biscuits are typically made with a lot of butter, lard, those types of things, whereas the bagels and rolls typically are not. If you're going to get a bagel or a roll, look for a whole wheat or a whole grain version. Coffee is just fine. Just use caution with the sugars and the creams and the syrups and all that good stuff that they tend to put in there. And then, of course, if you're going to get spreads for, if you're getting toast or bagels or anything like that, you can get the spread on the side so you can control how much you're putting on there. You can also ask for jam, which typically has a little bit of real fruit in there. Oh, this got cut off a little bit. So I've got restaurant choices from the actual restaurants over on the left-hand column. The middle column is the description of what's in the restaurant choice, and then the nutrition facts are over on the right. So the first one, and I tried to pick out restaurants that were local that you'd be familiar with. So Jamba Juice has a berry topper ideal meal. It has yogurt, soy milk, berries, bananas, and pumpkin flax granola for 300 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, and 9 grams of protein. It has 59 grams of carb and 85 milligrams of sodium. And I'm sorry the fiber got cut off, but McDonald's has a fruit and maple oatmeal. That consists of apples, raisins, dried cranberries, brown sugar, and oatmeal, of course. For 260 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, and 7 grams of protein, 48 grams of carb, and 115 milligrams of sodium. Panera has a breakfast power sandwich that has egg, cheddar, ham, and whole grain bread. 330 calories, 14 grams of fat, and 22 grams of protein, 31 grams of carb, and 830 milligrams of sodium. Starbucks has a protein artisan snack plate with hard-boiled egg, apple and cheese slices, multi-grain bread, and peanut butter and grapes. 370 calories, 19 grams of fat, and 13 grams of protein, with 36 grams of carb and 470 milligrams of sodium. The last one is Subway with a Western egg, white, and cheese muffin melt for cheese, ham, green peppers, red onion, egg whites, and English muffin. 160 calories, 4 grams of fat, 15 grams of protein, 19 grams of carb, and 680 milligrams of sodium. Does anyone want to say what they think would be the healthiest out of these options? I'm hearing Subway and Starbucks. Jamba Juice. You know, you kind of have to weigh, and again, I'm sorry the fiber is cut off, because you know, that makes a difference too. I mean, so let's say your concern is carbohydrates. You know, if you look, this is the highest one, but if you knew the fiber content, that might, you know, that might come into play, whether or not you feel that's a good choice too. And you kind of have to look at the descriptions too. If you're going to go with Jamba Juice, you're getting some calcium and protein in the yogurt. You know, the pumpkin flax, that's got some good omega-3 fatty acids for you. So you kind of have to weigh out what you're looking for. I think they're all pretty good choices. I think probably, you know, some of them you might want to be a little concerned with sugar content, and unfortunately I wasn't able to find the sugar content, other than the carbs, of course. But I think other than the brown sugar, I think everything else is natural sugars, I hope. But I can't guarantee that either. And the pumpkin flax, that probably has a little bit of added sugar as well. I don't know that they use flavored yogurt at Jamba Juice. So, but these are all things to consider. And it depends on what your health concerns are too. You know, if you have to watch your blood sugars, then you are looking at carbohydrates and those types of numbers. Or if you're looking at, you know, if you want something that's packed with protein in the morning because it fills you up better, then yeah, you might want to go with something like the Panera breakfast power sandwich. So, you know, you weigh out what you are concerned about. All right, so this is a good depiction of why we want to look at food descriptions. Aside from the numbers, I'm going to read you the food descriptions, and let's point out what you would want to be concerned about. The Whopper Jr. from the BK Value menu. It says it's a little Whopper with sandwich with a big taste. A flame-broiled beef patty topped with red ripe tomatoes, crisp lettuce, creamy mayo, ketchup, crunchy pickles, and onions, all on a toasted sesame seed bun. Okay, aside from the numbers, are there any words that jump out to you that might be red flags? Mayonnaise. Okay.
Saturated fat.
Okay. Now, if you were just reading the description and not knowing the numbers, what? Well, I mean, would you still be concerned that there's saturated fat in there? Just knowing the description?
No, I wouldn't know if there is.
Beef patty, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Beef patty.
The beef patty?
Is it lean or is it the 80% or the 73?
Sure. So if you didn't know the numbers, and let me just tell you, if a restaurant does use a lean patty, I can almost guarantee they will tout that, and they will probably put that in the description. I mean, I guess I can't guarantee that, but my guess is that they would, because they want you to think that it's a healthy option. So my guess is that they would say it's lean meat or whatever, but they're not saying that. Yeah, so mayo is a red flag.
Melted cheese, 2 slices.
Oh, on the double cheeseburger?
Yeah.
Let's read that one. It's a quarter-pound double cheeseburger is a lot of things. 2 beef patties, 2 slices of melted cheese, crunchy pickles, delicious ketchup and mustard. So yeah, there's some key words in there. The other thing that I tend to think of, maybe it's just me, is when they say a toasted sesame seed bun, I always wonder if they put butter on there, which, I mean, a good guess would probably be yes. So, or some type of oil, because it makes everything, you know, it makes it nice and crispy, it adds flavor.
Some places you can put it on the outside of the bun.
Yeah.
Make it shiny and
Yep.
you know.
Yep. Yeah, so there might be things like not really listed in the description that you might just want to question too. So anyway, it's just to point out that descriptions are very important on top of the numbers. But let's look at the numbers. The Whopper Jr. has 340 calories, 5 grams of saturated fat, 0.5 grams of trans fat, and 28 grams of carbs. Okay? I mean, speaking of, if you're going to eat that for a whole meal, that's not bad. I mean, usually between 300 and 500 calories for a whole meal, that's pretty good. But that's if you just have the burger. The double cheeseburger has 770 calories, 20 grams of saturated fat, 2.5 grams of trans fat, and 30 grams of carbs. The carbs are relatively the same between the two because they're just using one bun, right? But the calories are way different. The saturated fat is really high. The trans fats are very concerning, right? Because we're really not supposed to be eating any of those if we can help it. So anyway, it's important to pay attention to descriptions, especially if you're going to a non-chain restaurant, because they probably won't have the nutrition facts readily available for you. Okay, other choices. So I tried to look again for local restaurants with some of their healthier choices and why. So Panera Bread offers 2 whole grain breads. It offers apples, baked chips, antibiotic and hormone-free chicken in half-size portions. So one of their healthier food choices is a half turkey artichoke on focaccia bread with black bean soup. Okay, now That does not really address the sodium content though. I love the black bean soup there. It's considered low fat because there's no meat or anything in there. But the sodium content is quite high, so keep that in mind. Noodles and Company uses sauteing, organic tofu, hormone and antibiotic-free meat and shrimp. One of their better options is whole grain linguine. They also have chicken breast that you can get there. They have salads there as well. McDonald's has apple dippers, milk, canola blend oil. So that was their answer to cutting down on trans fats. Salads, fruit and walnuts. So one of their healthier choices is the premium grilled chicken classic sandwich.
Don't they have preservatives, the apple dippers, to prevent them from?
I'd have to read the description. I mean, if it's ascorbic acid, that's fine. That's just, I would compare that to like an orange juice or like a lemon juice. So that's okay. So it just depends. If they're using a lot of words that you don't recognize or long words that sound scientific, then perhaps. But yeah, I don't know off the top of my head if they do. And I know Subway has apple slices, and I thought I looked, and I don't recall seeing concerning words on there, but I'd have to look again.
Starbucks has an app now called Starbucks Nutrition Guide.
Yeah?
So you can download it to your phone and then you can see what is actually in your, they have it posted when you walk in the store,
Sure.
but it's also an app.
That's nice. Did
Starbucks Nutrition Guide.
everybody hear that? Starbucks has a nutrition guide if you like to eat there or,
It's an app.
or frequent there. Yeah, they have an app. So that's nice. Okay, Chipotle has buffet styles, which gives you control. Organics, hormone and antibiotic-free meats, GMO labeling. They use sunflower oil. So one of their healthier choices is the burrito bowls that you can skip the actual burrito bowl.
Yeah.
So, but I think they typically call it like a naked salad, or that's what they call it at Qdoba, a naked salad. It's a bed of greens and then all your toppings. Wendy's has baked potatoes, plain broccoli, salad, and apple slices. One of their healthier choices is the chili. It's loaded with protein. It's got some beans in there. So there's some healthy choice in there. P.F. Chang's China Bistro has whole grain brown rice, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, and they use wok-based cooking, which uses less oil. And of course, one of theirs is the vegetarian lettuce wraps. Other restaurants around the area, Applebee's has a Weight Watchers section. Chili's has their Guiltless Grill section in their menu. That's Amore. They have a 300 Club. Has anybody ever been to That's Amore? Okay. It's a little Italian restaurant. Is that Hale's Corners? Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It is very good food, yes. When I looked at it though, I think it's more about portion control. It's not like lighter fare, it's just smaller portions that fit in that 300 calorie range. So, which is fine, portion control, there's nothing wrong with portion control. All right, tips for when you're at a buffet. Well, this is totally relevant because if you're going to potlucks and things like that, you can use these tips. Start with a salad, okay, fill up a little bit on fiber. Power up with beans and or seeds. Okay, again, the fiber, the healthy fats, those types of things, filling up on those types of things can help you to feel fuller quicker. Treat yourself to fruits. Use the caution with the creamy salads. So if there's potato salads and coleslaw and things like that, not that you can't have those, but maybe pick one over the other. And again, portion control is very important. Sit facing away from the buffet or the potluck area. So, grab your chair and just put your back towards it. Because again, if you see people going up for more, or you just see things setting out, you tend to want to go back. Set a plate limit for yourself. A 1 plate limit, and we talked about that over the weekend, not stacking the plates. Use a small serving dish for your favorite dessert or share it. Limit the dressings and the sauces. And if you want to have a full fat dressing, that's okay. Just know that you have to drizzle it, not, load it on your salad or whatever you're putting it on. And then of course the plate method. I always love to talk about the plate method. So it's something that you can easily remember and hopefully you can employ it when you're out. So half your plate should be vegetables, right? Because vegetables are loaded with fiber, antioxidants. They have a high water content, so they tend to fill us up a little bit. And also they're very low in calories, so they're not gonna throw you over with your meal plan. 1/4 of your plate you can dedicate to your starches. Hopefully it's a healthier starch, but if it's not, at least you have a portion controlled. So things like potatoes, rice, noodles, quinoa, anything like that, bread. And then the last 1/4 of your plate should be for meat. So lean cuts of beef, like a tenderloin, chicken, fish. On the side of the plate up at the top left is a little portion of fruit. So if you want to have like a dessert, or if you want to save your fruit for a snack, that's fine. You can stick that there. And then over, it's a little bit cut off on the right on the top. That would be if you want to have a serving of milk or a serving of yogurt. And again, you can save those things for snacks too. You can also use your hand to eyeball if you're out at a restaurant or a buffet or potluck. One entire fist is approximately the size of 1 cup. So you can use that to measure out things like rice and pasta dishes, fruits and veggies. Now when I say rice and pasta dishes, I mean more like casseroles. If it's just rice or pasta by itself, you'd want to do 1/2 cup. You can use your palm to measure out things like meat, fish, and poultry. So your palm is about 3 ounces. Of course, everybody's palm is a little bit different. 1 handful is 1 ounce when we're talking about nuts and raisins. So just enough to fill the depression in your hand. 2 handfuls is 1 ounce when we're talking about things like chips, popcorn, and pretzels. 1 entire thumb is the equivalent to a serving of peanut butter or hard cheese. And then 1 thumb tip is a teaspoon when we're talking about cooking oil, mayonnaise, butter, and sugar. So again, if you're out and you don't want to pull out a scale to be weighing things, you can kind of use your hand to eyeball. There's a website, and if anybody needs the website address, just let me know after class. But there's a website that grades restaurants A through F, so that's kind of interesting. All right, I don't know if, well, yeah, this is relevant. Let's talk about cuisine. So if you like to frequent Asian restaurants, you can start with the soup. Now keep in mind, it's probably not going to be a low sodium soup. You can ask if they have a low sodium option. But the idea with starting with soup is, again, it will fill you up a little bit. You can opt for stir-fried, roasted, broiled, or steamed entrees as opposed to fried. Sauteed meat instead of fried. Chicken instead of duck. Steamed rice or brown rice instead of the fried rice. Edamame, cucumber salad, and stir-fried vegetables. Ask for low sodium sauces, and a lot of the restaurants have low sodium on the table now. They have the regular red cap, and then they've got the green cap low sodium. You can use rice wine vinegar, wasabi, ginger, or hot mustard sauce to flavor things without adding table salt. You can use chopsticks to slow down unless you're really efficient with them. Mexican, just go light on the cheese and the sour creams. I'll break right now. Does anybody need to go for their next class? All right, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Someone's fine. Thank you. Someone could just close the door on the way out. Thank you. Okay, so go light on the cheese and the sour creams. Opt for a soft shell versus a fried tortilla. Black beans versus refried beans. Extra salsa and vegetables. Chipotle in particular has a chicken burrito bowl that's a healthier option. One thing that I do is I love guacamole. So, and I typically get fajitas when I go out, so I'll get my carbs from the chips and the guac, and I'll just skip the shell and then just eat the fajitas the way they are. So, another trick. If you're doing Italian, especially if you're getting a dish that has pasta in it, you could try to skip the bread baskets or at least limit to one slice. I know that can be very difficult. I love the bread basket as well. But again, if you're getting a pasta dish, that's a lot of carbohydrates right there. So, and then if you're having the bread on top of it. Say no to extra cheese. I know at Olive Garden in particular, you know, they love to add the cheese to the salad and to your dish and your soup and everything. But again, if you're already getting some cheese in one of your entrees, you know, think about if you really need extra, or just get a light, you know, just a little bit of cheese on there, not a whole slew of it. Choose marinara-based entrees versus cream-based. You know, the Alfredo type dishes, those tend to have a lot of calories in them. Olive Garden shrimp primavera lunch is a good choice. Pizza places. Choose veggie toppings versus all the meats. Go light on the cheese. Again, if there's already cheese coming on the pizza, do you need to put more on or ask for 3 cheese or 5 cheese or whatever? Fill up on a side salad if you're still hungry after 1-2 slices. Opt for thin crust versus thick crust. And then if you like spicy, red pepper flakes, spice has been linked to helping with satiety, so helping you to feel full. If you're at a sub place, opt for 6-inch versus the foot-long. Go for roast beef, chicken, ham, any of the lean meats. Just the pastrami's and bologna's, those types of things are typically really loaded with calories. Mustard is a good spread choice, or avocado. Subway has avocado like in the summertime. Just watch how much they're putting on there. Extra veggies is always good to fill up on. Opt for whole grain bread or doing half the bread. I knew somebody that when she ate at Subway, she would scoop out some of the bread in the middle so she'd still have a top and a bottom. She just didn't need all the bread in there. And then of course they do have milk, baked chips, and apple slices. But think about the chips too. If you're getting all that bread, think about if you really need the chips on the side, you know, can you sub for the apple slices or something else? All right, burger places. Opt for a single patty. I mean, single patties are typically, I don't know, probably around 4 ounces, which is plenty for male and female usually. So 1 patty. Again, you can do half the bun or skip the bun. I see people do that too. Watch out for the mayos, the cheese, and the special sauces. Grilled chicken sandwiches are also a good option sometimes. Some places have veggie burgers. You can have a garden salad with grilled chicken and low-fat dressing, a baked potato instead of fries, yogurt parfait. Just with those, watch the serving size there, because some of those can be quite full of sugar if they're flavored yogurts. And grilled chicken strips are also an option at a lot of burger places. Steakhouses. Check out the seafood and the fish entrees. You can order things made to order, so request the chef remove some of the fat prior to cooking. Order lean cuts with a side of citrus fruits for flavoring. If you're at a vegetarian place, just use caution with full-fat dairy and condiments. Dupes to be careful with. Olive oil is typically a healthier choice than butter, but when you dip your bread in olive oil, research shows that it can soak up to 300 extra calories. So oil is very heart healthy, but it's still something that needs to be portion controlled, just like nuts, just like avocado, just like all those good things. So just be careful with that. Instead of dipping your bread, you can drizzle a little bit, or use vinegar if you're having like a salad. Little plates, so places that do tapas, be careful with those. Oil and mozzarella can add an additional 400 calories. Egg rolls and coconut shrimp, just try to aim for grilled, or order protein and veggies on the side. Don't just fill up on egg rolls. Other dupes. If you're at a nice restaurant, just be aware that chefs are not as concerned about health concerns as they are flavor, right? I mean, that's their job. They're there to make things taste good, to keep you coming back. So keep that in mind. Some chefs will add extra cream, butter, broths, and salt to their dishes before it's brought out to you. They might toss veggies and salads with bacon drippings that isn't indicated on the menu. So keep that in mind. So when you're ordering, ask if cream or butter is used, and you can order things dry. So get things on the side. Remember that presentation can also throw off your portion radar, especially if you're at a fancy restaurant and they give you like a giant plate with a, just this one piece of food on there. But I mean, use your hand to kind of eyeball whether or not it's an appropriate portion. It might look like they gave you nothing, but then when you compare it to your hand, you're like, oh, this really is 3 ounces or whatever. Other tips for dining out. You can review the menu ahead of time, and we've talked about that, especially with the chain restaurants. Most chain restaurants, or I think all of them, have a website, so you can go on and look at the nutrition facts and look at the descriptions of the meals before you even go in and make a choice. And that kind of takes the guesswork out of it too. So if you're the type of person that gets swayed by other people's choices, it may be good to have in mind what you're going to order that night before you go out, and then be the first person to order so that you're not swayed by what everybody else is getting. Don't arrive starving. I mean, of course, if you're going out to a nice dinner or whatever, of course you want to show up with a good appetite, but if you're famished, that's when you tend to, order cocktails and order appetizers and order a dessert and order double portions or what have you. So come with a good appetite, just not starving. If you know you're going to go a while between eating meals, perhaps have a little bit of a healthy snack before you come to the restaurant. If you're going to get an appetizer, try to look for something that's fruit or vegetable based. Again, skip the bread basket, especially if you know you're going to be having a lot of carbohydrates in your entree. You can split an appetizer if you're absolutely wanting one. So if you just love mozzarella sticks and you're at that restaurant that has really great mozzarella sticks, have them, but split them. Choose a lean meat entree. You can make special requests. There's lots of people that have food intolerances and allergies nowadays, so restaurants are well equipped to deal with special requests. So don't be afraid to say, hey, I'd like that on the side, or can you make it a different way? The worst they can say is no. Slow down when you're eating. Remember that it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to tell your brain that it's full. So if you're a fast eater, you can really eat a lot in 20 minutes, right? Especially if you're hungry. So slow down, put the fork down in between bites, use chopsticks. Get things on the side, or what we talked about, naked foods is what they call it. So get your dressings on the side. Get veggies with your meal. Order extra salad or a little house salad, or order an extra portion of vegetables. Because a lot of times when they give you entrees, the portion of vegetables is just, it's measly. And then you get a big thing of potatoes and a big thing of meat. If you're going to get a potato, some options for potato toppings. Salsa's a great one. Just watch out for the butters and the cheese sauces and all that stuff. If you're at a restaurant that has avocado, you could ask for a little bit of avocado to put on your potato. Drink water, okay? So stay hydrated while you're eating, because sometimes dehydration can be masked. So you might feel like you're really hungry, but really part of it is just being dehydrated. So make sure you're drinking enough water. If you're going to drink alcohol, the ratio I recommend is 2 glasses of water to every glass of alcohol. That seems like a lot of beverage, which it is. But when you start drinking, your inhibitions go down, right? And then you start making choices that maybe you wouldn't have made if you weren't having some alcohol. If you're going to have a dessert, try to look for something that has fruit. Remember that you can split the dessert or share it with your company. Gelatin, angel food, and sorbet are typically low in calories and fat, but keep in mind they still have a good amount of sugar. Of course, you can ask for half portions, and we talked about that on Saturday as well. You can ask the waiter or the waitress to have half of your meal boxed up before it even comes out, and that way, if it's already boxed up, you're less tempted to you know, you're probably not going to open up the bag in the box and start digging in there, right? Choose one or the other. If it's a special occasion, you know, maybe you have the appetizer, but then you skip the dessert, or vice versa. You skip the appetizer but have the dessert. And then, of course, savor what you're eating. You know, I know we get caught up, and you should be, you know, socializing with your company or what have you, but really pay attention to what you're eating. Enjoy what you're eating, because again, we tend to just eat and not really pay attention or realize what we're doing, and then we didn't truly enjoy the meal. When you're reading the menu, there's a bunch of keywords you can look for, and unfortunately, the go words are fewer than the stop words. So the go words would be baked, poached, steamed, broiled, grilled, and loin cuts of meats. The red flags would be creamed, melted, blackened, deep fried, pan fried, basted, batter dipped, creamy, scalloped, Alfredo, au gratin, crusted, in cream sauce, fried, glazed, cheesy, crispy, smothered, headed, and honey dipped. It's a lot of words. But again, if you're going to go with something that has that description, portion control is very important then. Other tools, and again, if anybody wants the websites, I can give it to you after. But healthydiningfinder.com finds restaurants nearest to your location, and then it gives you the healthiest options according to price. So that's really helpful. Calorie King, I love to use that website if I'm just not sure what the calorie count is on something. I'll plug that in. They have a really large database. And that includes restaurant foods. It includes foods that you find in the store, big database. All right, so let's take a stab at it. So here we're going to modify this menu. Here we've got an 8-ounce steak with barbecue sauce, medium order French fries, a side of vegetables, house salad with dressing, a 16-ounce soda, and a slice of cake. How can we make this a little healthier?
4 ounces of no sauce.
4 ounces of the steak and no sauce. Okay.
Can you switch the steak over to chicken?
Okay, you could switch the steak to chicken breast. Okay.
A baked potato instead of French fries.
Sure, the baked potato instead of the fries.
Dressing on the side.
Dressing on the side, yes.
Get rid of the barbecue sauce.
Get rid of the barbecue sauce, and get rid of the soda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get rid of the cake and substitute fruit.
Okay, you could substitute the fruit, the cake with fruit.
Or share the cake.
Share the cake, yes. Okay. Other ideas too, if you're gonna get steak, make sure it's a lean cut of steak. You know, look for a loin or whatever. It's not that you can't ever have steak, but you look for the lean cuts. Or yeah, with the barbecue sauce, either you could get rid of it or get it on the side so you can dip and you know how much is going on the steak. Yeah, instead of the fries, you could get the baked potato or even a small order of fries if you really love fries. The side of vegetables, did anybody say anything about that?
Yeah, so you double it.
Yeah,
So skip the potato or go to brown rice and double the veggies. Or...
Sure, she was saying you double the portion of the veggies, you could skip the potato and just have the veggies. Something else that I want to bring up too that's not always indicated on the menu, Outback's a really good example. They put butter on their veggies. So I always have to ask them to leave that off. And that's, again, that's something that I don't think they indicate that on the menu. It just comes like that.
Will they double up the veggies? I mean, you talked about that plate. Half of it should be veggies.
Yeah. Mary, you said do you have an example?
I many times will just skip the potato altogether and I'll say instead could I substitute next one of veggies.
Will they
think
double charge
They
you?
always honor.
They
won't
double charge. They won't double because you
Maybe
drop
I could
the
do a
veggies.
dollar upcharge or something, and I'm like, that's fine. I mean, it's worth it because if you really don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but if you
Or
really
just
want a
say
potato,
place
baked
French
potato or a small, something, but again, but they never turn you down. I mean, if you say, I don't want that, I just want veggies, they always do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and that's such a waste of food too. If you're not going to eat something, I mean, why would they want to serve it to you? So. Yeah, so we talked about the dressing coming on the side with the house salad, so that's a good one. We talked about, I think it was mentioned, just getting rid of the soda, even again, cutting down on the portion of soda. And then the slice of cake, yeah, either substituting with fruit or cutting in half or what have you.
With the salad, if you just if you put put the dressing on the side, and if you just put your fork in the salad dressing, just put your fork and then take, you don't even have to put it on your salad, it's just tasting. You could eat less salad dressing by just putting your fork in the dressing and then taking a bite out. That's what I found, and then when I'm all done, I'm only just like this much salad dressing. It's amazing. I mean, if you're a really healthy salad dressing, you could pour it on there, but most of the time you're not sure what's in it. So.
Right, right. Yeah, and again, you don't know if you've got a chef that's, if it's a house-made salad, you know, are they putting extra stuff in there?
Put it on your fork. And
Yeah.
You can taste that salad dressing just as well.
Yeah.
I found, but I don't know. It's just me.
No, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, she was just talking about, you know, with your salad, you just dip your fork in
The dressing
first, the dressing
Yep.
first, and then dip it in your salad.
Take a piece of those.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So, roughly estimating, this is about 1,624 calories. Remember, you've got an 8-ounce steak, and again, if it's not a lean cut of steak, okay, that contributes to the calorie content. You got French fries in there. You know, you potentially have vegetables with butter on there. You got dressing on there. Oh, and another thing about the dressing, they give you way, even when it comes on the side, that is not one portion of dressing. I mean, one serving of dressing is 2 tablespoons, and they give you like a little 2-ounce cup. So that's, yes, that's quite a serving there. Okay, so yeah, and then you've got regular soda, you've got cake. So again, we're looking at somewhere around 1,624 calories for this one meal. All right, so and then here I just put down a lot of what you recommended here. And I did a tall glass of water instead of soda. So it saved up to 1123. So that's quite, and again, you still have the same food. Okay, well, mostly the same food. You have half a portion of the steak with the barbecue on the side. You did replace the French fries with the baked potato. You had plain veggies. You had the house salad, just the dressing on the side. You had water instead of the soda. And you still had cake, but you split it. So you had essentially the same meal, just a couple substitutions and portion control, and you brought it way down. So we're at the time of year where special occasions are going to occur, and that's great, and I want you guys to enjoy yourself. So again, just try to employ some of the rules that we were talking about, some of the tips that we were talking about. If you just, you know, you go to a potluck or whatever and you just kind of break the bank, don't dwell on it. Don't let that ruin the rest of your day or the rest of your week or whatever. You know, we tend to do that where it's like, well, you know, I did that at lunch, so I might as well just do whatever I want the rest of the day. So we can't have that mentality, because that's when things really start to spiral, right? So don't dwell on it. Allow yourself occasional treats, especially this time of year if you were going to go to a party, enjoy yourself. Make sure that the next time you are eating, that you're opting for a lower calorie meal, right? You're probably having a lean meat, a salad, loading up on vegetables. Yeah, focus on vegetables, and then of course boosting your exercise routine. But again, that does not give you a ticket to like eat whatever you want and portions out of control and then come in here and try to burn it all off, because as most of you probably have found, it doesn't work like that. I wish it would, but just doesn't. You gotta have both together. And then just leaving you with a quote: never go to excess, but let moderation be your guide. That's a quote from Marcus Tullius Cicero. Questions? Okay, all right. Yeah, if anybody needs the website addresses, let me know. Otherwise, I won't see you guys till January. I think the 13th is the next one.
Is that what it is?
No, wait, no, it's not the 13th. Maybe it's the 8th. I think it's a Saturday. Yeah, there's calendars out there. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
I know the 17th is a Saturday, so the 10th?
Okay, so then
The 3rd, 10th,
Yeah,
17th, 24th.
it must be the 10th.
Must be the 10th.
I think.
Do you know what Thursday night it is?
I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, if you want, I can go grab a calendar too.
Yeah, I was looking for the January date, because it affected my schedule.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll go get one.
Do you want me to hit stop on it?
Yeah, would you please? Okay, go right out and get it. If you need to go, go. Just please put it in your bag.
Where's the stop date?
I think it's the 15th.
system.